The qualifying race for the Formula 4 event here at the FIA Motorsport Games is heading to the grid. It is about to get underway. This will be a race to determine the grid for the main race, and it is a grid that already rather contradicts what we had seen in qualifying, because the fastest time, which was set by Russia, disallowed because that was done, we understand, under a red flag. And so the grid looking somewhat jumbled, and we have then lining up on pole position Israel. Ido Cohen is going to be the man on pole, and it will be Italy alongside. So Andrea Rosso, who topped free practice in the 2 sessions that we had yesterday, lining up at effectively his home circuit on the outside of this front row. Standing start, of course, for these identical single-seaters. The first time they have raced. It is a really fascinating entry, this. The cars with hybrid technology, 1400cc turbo Abarth engines lined up, good to go there for Germany. Nicholas Kreuten, David Addison and John Watson trackside, and we're looking forward to this 20-minute race.
Brave new world for everybody, albeit that they ran in dry conditions on Friday. This morning, very tricky conditions indeed. The track was wet. Lots of drivers on their outlaps were falling off the racetrack. It's the inexperience of virtually all the competitors. Those that have that little bit more experience gravitated to the top of the field. And the time that was disallowed, probably a function of you're on your lap and you're just about to complete the lap, the flag comes out. Well, what do I do? Do I keep my foot in it or not? And unfortunately, if you do, you get the penalty. So Bulatov is going to start in the second row of the grid. And but brave new world, as I say.
Now let's try and catch up with one or two of the drivers before we go racing. Andrea Rosso on home soil, front row of the grid. He's with our reporter Dakota Jane.
Andrea, it's fantastic to be flying the home colours here in Italy. How happy are you to be sitting on the front line of the grid? P2, you ready to go?
Yeah, of course, I'm really happy about starting P2, so the front row. I'm honored to be here representing my country, and yeah, I can't wait to start the race, and let's see what I can do. Thank you.
Let's see what he can do. Forza Italia.
So we have then the Italian driver, frustrated perhaps of not quite being able to get the pole position. I mean, in real terms, he was third in the qualifying, second on the grid for this. It's a dry road pretty much, but the weather conditions are not being kind here at Vallelunga. A lot of heavy rain this morning. We've had a bit of drizzle again, even in that last qualifying session, what, 40 minutes ago?
It's going to be that kind of day, I'm afraid. It's going to be weather fronts coming in and leaving, and then a new one coming in. So, and I said a brave new world for the entire field. It's a brave new world in terms of, on Saturday, it's a dry track. These cars are spec cars. They're not allowed to make any changes to the cars. Aerodynamics, ride heights, suspensions. There are minute changes, about 2 of them that you can make, but whether they make any significant change or difference or not is probably arguable. So when the lights go out and this race gets underway, I don't think anybody has a clue what's going to happen. Maybe the front row might have the opportunity, clear road to make progress, but behind it, it's going to be a real mix and match.
So there is Japan, and pole position is Israel's Ido Cohen, who has been good in the Italian Championship this year. Let's hear from him.
All the way from Israel. It's much colder here in Italy. Now, you had a little bit of a technical problem. Have you managed to fix that?
Yeah, so when I went to the outlap on my way to the grid, I couldn't upshift. The upshift pedal didn't work. So we switched the steering wheel, and now the problem is solved.
But I guess you haven't tried the steering wheel, so you don't know, do you? Anyway, good luck for the race. I hope the first corner goes well for you.
And with a very competitive pack, of course, all in the same car, having its first ever race, this is going to be quite some battle, isn't it, as we look forward to this qualifying race for the F4 Cup. And a bit of home advantage, if you know the circuit, could certainly stand you in good stead. Then for Denmark is the car of Malte Jakobsen. Now, he's another driver that ought to be worth watching in this, because Jakobsen is the Danish Formula 4 champion this year, but he starts quite a long way back on the grid. He was 8th at the end of the provisional times in qualifying, but moves himself up the grid a little because of the shuffle around for Russia. Pavel Bulentsev losing his best lap time. Right, the safety car blasts away. There you see the one-by-one staggered grid, all formed up, all ready to go. So the grid is complete. We have, as far as I'm aware, nobody missing from that grid. And everybody there set for battle. Now, picking a winner out of all of this is going to be very difficult indeed. There's an experienced junior single-seater racer, Lewis Leeds, for Australia, who has won the Australian Formula 4 Championship, third in the British Formula 4 Championship as well. But here the leveller is, it's a new circuit.
It's a new circuit for probably the bulk of the field. It's a brand new car, limited running, wet qualifying. It's a voyage into the unknown. Let's hope this is a dry race all the way through. Let the talent that is in this field of cars begin to shine through, because that's what it's all about. These cars, quite sophisticated for a junior formula with a built-in hybrid system, to give them a sense of what they'll face basically should they make progress through the more senior formulas, ultimately getting into Formula One. That will be the dream of everybody on the grid. So the work is beginning at this very formative stage in these drivers' careers.
Now let's go back to the grid. Another driver to watch in this for Germany, Nicholas Kreuten. He's with Dakota.
Nicholas, exactly, you're a driver to watch all the way from Germany. Germany has a great nation for a passion for racing. You must share that passion as well. Are you excited to get racing here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now for the qualifying race, I'm going to focus on staying in the front and get a good grid position for tomorrow's main race. So I'm really excited.
Now you've got to watch out, because Israel's got a little bit of a technical problem in front of you. So viel Glück, good luck for the race. Thank you very much.
Well, hopefully the Israeli technical problem is sorted, isn't it, from the new steering wheel that's been given now to Ido Cohen. So his pace in qualifying was very impressive indeed. All of these cars on Pirelli tyres. There should be slicks now. The road has been drying as the grid is cleared, and they're looking further back upon it. You see number 13, which is the Hungarian car of Laszlo Toth, lining up on the outside of the grid, and he, again, is going to be a driver on his toes, pretty experienced in Formula 4 terms. He's done the German, the Italian, the Spanish, the UAE, the North European Zone Championship, so there's plenty of track time available to the young drivers in this level of racing, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, coming to the end of a season, of course, this will be the swan song for many of these competitors. This will be their last race. They'll be looking, preparing, seeking budgets. So a good result here in an important event such as these Motorsport Games at Vallelunga will be a cachet that you can carry forward and maybe persuade somebody that you are the driver from your nationality. Remember, these are nations. It's not just a normal national championship. It's comprising fundamentally the drivers of that particular country.
Václav Safar for the Czech Republic is good to go then. He is another regular F4 racer. He's done the Italian and the German championships, which do share effectively the same car and engine. So the 1400cc Abarth engine is the power unit for the Italian series. But here, hybrid technology bolted on. Now, there's very little that the drivers can do to make adjustments. They certainly can't influence when that hybrid extra boost comes in, but really it will do the work for you coming out of a slow corner as you accelerate. It's a bit like the kick down on an automatic gearbox.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the level of sophistication that hybrid race engines have got, either in LMP1 at Le Mans or on Formula One Grand Prix, that is the extreme end of that whole hybrid spectrum. What we have here is the beginning of it, but it gives drivers the fundamentals of understanding what hybrids are capable of doing and providing. So that extra little bit of kick when you get on the throttle, it's what your future motor racing will be geared around.
Grid is being cleared then, so history about to be made. The first ever race for these cars. They're all run by High-Tech GP, experienced single-seater team, built by KCMG, the KC Motorsport Group. And the fans, it's free admission to come to Vallelunga, packing the stands, cheering for their nations, looking for, in some cases, the stars of tomorrow. And here is a grid full of them. They've spent all season racing for themselves in independent individual championships around the world. Now they go head-to-head, and although, yes, they want to be the gold medalist, it is all about winning nations. The grid headed by Israel's Ido Cohen. A vouchsafe that if you'd asked most people who will you expect to be on pole position as a nation, they wouldn't have said Israel, because it's not really one with a huge motorsport pedigree.
It is. I mean, it doesn't have, but certainly Ivo Cohen has shown great skill. I mean, in difficult trick conditions, he was consistently, that's not Ivo Cohen, that's directly behind, and that was the German entry, I think, that might be directly behind Cohen.
I thought that was the third row, which means it's going to be Brazil's João Rosata, who gets going. He's not the only one to be slow off the line. There's another couple. So there you've got the car slow away of,
well, 3 cars
Perez.
still.
Yeah.
And I think this may be
A delayed start.
Delayed start indeed, because one of them's got rolling. But, well, both on all 3 now, well, they simply must have stalled.
Interesting also, we just had a grid, amended grid given to us, which confirms grid drops for a number of people, but also number 12, which is Hong Kong's Hugo Hung, refused permission to start because he caused 2 red flags. Right, this is the grid. Quickly, that's while people try and play catch-up. Ido Cohen is on the front of the grid with Andrea Rosso. That's Israel and Italy. Second row of the grid is Germany and Russia. Nicholas Kreuton lining up alongside Pavel Bulantsev. The third row was Brazil and Japan. Well, Brazil, I think he's trying to get himself back through the pack. João Rosate, Kazuto Kataka goes for Japan. Then it's Denmark and Australia, row 4. Malte Jakobsen and Lewis Leeds. Row 5 is Finland and Hungary. William Aratalo and Laszlo Toth. The Czech Republic is on the 6th row. Václav Safar lining up with Rachid Desjardins for France alongside him. On the 7th row of the grid, you've got Ireland and Belgium. Luca Allen for Ireland and Nicolas Bert for Belgium. Spain and Malaysia come next. Belen Garcia for Spain. Jasper Tong for Malaysia. Portugal and Kuwait on the penultimate row of the grid. Mariano Perez and Mohamed Al Nusif. And the last driver, the last car, is that of New Zealand, Flynn Malani. And therefore, Hong Kong is the one not allowed to start.
Interesting decision, but we did see him causing a number of issues.
Exactly.
What is also interesting for Brazil, João Rosate, who stalled or was very slow leaving his grid slot, ought to be allowed to make his way up through the field, because 3 further cars down the grid also were very delayed in leaving. So if the whole field were to have passed the Brazil entry, then he would have had to start at the rear. But because 3 of them were also slow off the mark, that should enable him to take up his rightful position on the 3rd row of the grid, 5th quickest.
Yeah, if everybody leaves the line before you, you've got to start at the back.
Yeah.
But if there are some stragglers, you are able to take up your grid position. So this is a 20-minute race, not a set number of laps, but the flag will go out the first time the leader crosses the line when the 20 minutes are up. And the cars now making their way up towards the grid, with on pole position then Ido Cohen for Israel, with him at the front of the grid, Italy's Andrea Rosso. So Cohen, with that late switch of steering wheel, now settling himself into position.
Well, Rosario hasn't made his way. That is, I think, now in the middle of the field.
Yeah, you're right.
So he has made his way. Normally you'd try and get into position a little bit earlier, but the fact that he's made it onto the 3rd row of the grid, waiting for the lights to go on.
Well, we are good to go, that's for sure. It has been a slightly untidy formation lap for some of them, but our first race ever for these cars, these KCMG-built Formula 4 single-seaters, hybrid technology, halo device on the cars, and the first time single-seaters race for their nations in the FIA Motorsport Games. The qualifying races go. Who makes the best start? Dreadful getaway by Russia. Good start made by Germany. Bad start by Israel, and it's going to be Italy who lead down towards turn 1. Andrea Rosso then down to the Curva Grande for the first time. Has he been able to take the advantage? Yes, he has. Rosso it is then from the outside of the front row, who leads as they funnel through for the first time.
Yeah, the loser out was Ivo Cohen in the Israel car. So down into turn 4, going in almost side by side. Dry track, so you could use a little bit more. And just wondering, everybody has actually made it through turns 4 and 5 cleanly. So well done, everybody. Easy to get involved in the start, particularly in a strange car on a strange track in difficult conditions, albeit the weather is actually quite warm, but rain threatening all the time.
Now, round the outside line goes Germany. Israel down to third place. So, Nicholas Kreuthen for Germany tries and succeeds in gaining ground. Cohen then is on the back foot. And now Germany all over the back of Italy as they dive up towards turn 8. Then into that left-hander, you can see it is one huge wave of cars, identical liveries, bar the flags on the front and the country's names on the side. Belen Garcia for Spain goes through. The leading trio tries to break away. Round the outside goes Germany. Kreuthen gets the lead. Does he round the outside? Fantastic move. Tees him up for the inside on the next corner. Brilliant.
Absolutely, but down the inside, Italy trying to come back. Contact, well, just about avoided it. That low contact with the 17 Japan in the tyre barrier. Going to have a full, well, drive-through for car 5, incorrect grid position, but that's going to be a full course yellow, one would assume, with the Japan car well and truly up against the barrier, damaged front suspension.
So that means that it's going to be João Rosate for a drive-through for the way that he got himself back into his grid formation. That's debatable from the team, I would have expected, but as for Japan, that car is going no further. Leaders go through, then it's Germany from Italy from Israel at the end of lap 1, and now Israel dives up the inside line. Through the Curva Grande they go. Israel goes second.
Aggressive move, a spinner again back in the infield. So that is 18, that is Kuwait, Mohammed Al-Nusef. So 2 cars in the gravel. We haven't had a safety car intervention or a full course yellow. Maybe the first got going. Hopefully the second will likewise get going. Well, the first one wouldn't because they're in the barrier with damaged suspension.
Going no further. So Rosate, I'm surprised about that drive-through because not everybody had gone past him. However, the race director does not want him to have taken up his grid position. So Rosate at the moment running 5th. He's going to have to serve the drive-through, otherwise he'll be in strife. The leader, Nicholas Kreuthen, though, is doing a very good job up front. He's battled his way through from the second row, and the safety car is deployed.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. 2 cars off, one certainly never going to recover. There's the second of the cars, the Kuwaiti car, and that's got right rear suspension damage as well. And everybody now is suddenly seeing red or yellow safety car indications locking up. I don't know whether amongst the sophistication have they got an onboard yellow. There's another car.
That's Japan, isn't it?
Is that Japan?
Yeah.
So here must have been contact. Was that contact or just losing the back of the car? Because the right rear suspension, maybe a punctured tyre. When he made his way back to the pits, it looked like the right rear may have been compromised.
So safety car on track, and everybody now has to slow down. Just wondering whether, I haven't got time yet to check the regulations, whether Rosate can do his drive-through while the safety car is out there. Q8 being waved past, so the safety car crew making sure that it gets the correct car behind it, and that will be Germany. So Nicholas Kreuthen leads. Then we can take stock at the end of 2 laps. Kreuthen leads from Cohen. That means it is Germany from Israel. Replay of the start here.
It's a good start indeed by Italy and by Germany. Slower start by Israel. So 2 abreast going down through turn 1 and 2, and then into this wonderful turn 3 Curva Grande Vallelunga style.
But it was that move by Kreuthen, by Germany, round the outside at turn 10 that was the real star move of the opening lap. Now, all of the safety car laps, of course, count within the 20 minutes. It is the result of this that determines the grid. Never mind points. You've got to finish and finish well. That puts you in the box seat for tomorrow's medals race.
So Germany forceful at the start, making it stick in turn 10. Very brave move. Russo tried to get back down in the inside, but just wasn't sufficiently far alongside to think that he could make it stick and avoided contact. And then Ivo Cohen used that opportunity himself. There's the damaged left front suspension. I mean, it's a quick fix, but not obviously something that can be done. I think still there's, I don't know why that debris was on the track when we were watching some of the other activities earlier on. Still there.
Lights flash on the safety car. Of course, when those go out, that's the indication that we will be good to go at the end of that lap. So Nicholas Kreuthen for Germany leads the way. Through he comes.
Short race, David. Only just under 15 minutes remaining.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to have a view of the
that was the move,
down the inside.
it?
That's where Russell tried to come back, but was not sufficiently far alongside. Then Ivo Cohen got the momentum coming out of turn 11 up into 12 and then 13.
So Germany, Israel, Italy, Denmark, Hungary, Brazil, Finland, Belgium, Ireland, Australia. That is the top 10 at the moment. Safety car stays on track, lights flash.
Good start from Ireland. They weren't so far up the grid, up into the top 10 and 9th place. So Ireland started on the 7th row, so that's 4 places. Made a very good job.
Now, are we going to go racing at the end of this lap? I think the safety car lights may be out. Yep, and it comes. So it is now up to Nicholas Kruyten to control the pace. Once he accelerates, he's got to keep on accelerating. You can't go and slow. And it is going to be Israel's Ido Cohen who is up behind him. This is going to be a fascinating restart. We're down to 14 minutes and we're not yet at the timing line.
It's all going to happen down into turn 4.
That's the prediction.
That's the prediction, because those first 3 cars are fairly evenly matched. Competitive, aggressive starts for all 3 when the light went out, and they're just waiting for Kruyten to get going. He's going now, and Cohen and Russell want to go with him. They don't want to let him steal an advantage coming up into turn 14 and get that little bit of an advantage. So these 3 will be the race in the instant that we get underway again.
And actually, it's a good restart by Kruyten, isn't it? He does lead them away, comes over the timing line now then. So Nicholas Kruyten is up front as he powers through then. He's now 4 tenths clear of Cohen. That means it's Germany from Israel. Italy goes through third. Andrea Rosso is ahead of Malte Jakobsen for Denmark. And then a really good amount of progress made by Hungary's Laszlo Toth. He has also been on his toes, having lined up on the 5th row of the grid as the cars now stream their way up towards turn 5 for the first time of asking. Leading the way and trying to build that gap is Germany.
Yes, but Cohen in Israel had a thought about going down making a move into turn 4. Looks about up the hill. Well, he seems to have more momentum, more drive off a corner than we're seeing from the race leader right now. But having that position, easier to defend. Italy likewise to make a move on Israel for that 2nd place.
So they come now through Sorate, turn 8, that very tight left-hander. Challenge being made in the background, look, as some of the other nations squabble for the lesser places, but the higher up the order they can get, the better the grid position is going to be. Al-Nusif, the Q80 driver, after his spin, being given the meatball flag. The mechanical warning flag also being looked at is Russia, because Bulantsev got together with Q8. Remember, he was penalised after qualifying, dropped down the grid, and made a bad start as well, as the cars now stream their way through. So Italy, having led off the line now, but also down in 3rd place, trying to come back at Israel, which in turn is looking for a way past Germany.
Yeah, but Jakobsen in 4th place is also breathing down the back of Italy in that 3rd position. So once again, slightly closer to the top 4, coming off final turn onto what will be their 5th lap. So I think that Cohen will be thinking about a move down the inside, and maybe anticipated a bit of a battle. There we go. He's got the advantage coming down out of turn 3, down the inside, compromises Kruyten, and therefore Luke Rosso likewise. Cohen was always the quickest of these 3 cars from the moment the light went out. He's finally now got what he might consider his due position by leading the race. He had pole position, he lost it, but got it back now.
Germany leads still. Kruyten is ahead, going to the outside line. Can't do it there, or can he? He's going to try, he's going to try, he's going to try, but he's going to run out of road on the outside line. Germany still leads the way. So Nicholas Kruyten under attack. And now look, we've got 5 in the line. It's going to be 6 in a moment, because Italy has been caught by Denmark, taking Hungary, and then Finland with him. Side by side for 2nd as Rosso for Italy tries to go around the outside of Israel. Wheel to wheel as they come off turn 9, and that plays into the hands of Germany. They're still side by side for 2nd. On the outside line is Italy, on the inside line is Israel. Rosso tries to go around the outside, can't do it. Israel hangs on to 2nd, and look, Kruyten's got a gap of 2 or 3 lengths.
Yeah, but look at Ivo. He's put Cohen has managed to stretch that these 2 are battling over 2nd place, and you had Jakobsen and Toth all becoming involved in that little battle. Toth, in fact, had the fastest 2nd time in sector 1. But it looks to me Ivo Cohen has just got that little bit of additional pace, and he's able to turn it on that bit earlier than those around him, and now has a comfortable lead of 3 tenths of a second.
Up to the timing line then comes Nicholas Kruyten. Through he comes. He will head over the line, and as he does so, the best news for him is that battle going on behind him, because they are holding each other up. Through they come once more. 7 tenths of a second is now the gap. Finland, by the way, has done the fastest lap, William Alatalo, but there are the 3 leaders. Next battle is on for 4th, where now Hungary, Laszlo Toth, is up into 4th place at the expense of Denmark. There is Denmark through 5th. 6th is Finland, so another good scrap is building up there. But whereas it was nearly 6 in a line here a lap ago, now it's calmed down ever so slightly. Kruyten for Germany trying to get away, but have a look at Cohen. He is bringing down that gap, so Israel now shaking off Italy back onto the tail of the race leader. Denmark versus Finland. Jakobsen stays ahead of Alatalo.
So out of turn 8 up the hill, and so the gap up to 7/10 of a second, first to second place. Further back, Russell, further half second behind Cohen, and beginning to settle down the field, the pack. But the battle for second place there, you can see that is far from over. Russell definitely wants to find a way round the Israeli car. The lead German driver, 7/10 of a second up the road and getting nearer to a second by the time they'll come through the start-finish line.
They all concertina into turn 11 now. And now the field sprinting up towards the end of lap 6 then with, as you can see, 8 3/4 minutes on the clock. So if Israel's Ido Cohen is going to do anything about the leading German entry, he's got to get on with this, because right now on a road that is drying all the time and lap times are tumbling, so Kreuthen is getting away from the pack. Game on for second. Israel versus Italy. Tiny gap back to Hungary, fourth as they come up towards the line. Fifth is Denmark. Sixth going through is Finland, and then you've got Belgium, the best of the rest, in 7th place as the cars now go through turn 1 with 8/10 of a second being the margin that Germany has over Israel.
So that battle for the lead looks like it's fairly safe in the hands of Kreuthen. He's got 8/10 of a second advantage over Cohen, who has lost slightly to 3rd place. So Russo up 1/10 of a second further towards the tail there. We look at the battle that's gone on through the field. So 1st, 2nd, 3rd, but 4th, 5th and 6th really within a handkerchief of all those top 6 cars.
Through they turn then as you look at Finland's William Alatalo. 6th he is at the moment. So 7th is Belgium, 8th is Ireland, 9th Australia, 10th is France. Kreuthen hanging onto the race lead, but what he's not doing is getting away there down the pit lane. Hiding himself behind the wall comes Rosate for his drive-through penalty, also in his Al-Nusif after his earlier spin and the damage that was picked up as a consequence. So race leaders come up towards the end of the 7th lap of the race. It was 8/10 of a second, Germany over Israel at the start of the lap, but right now you've got to hand it to the pace of Ido Cohen, because he is able to get right back there. Look, onto the tail of the German driver. It is again game on for the race lead. The pressure is telling on the leader.
So let's watch and see what happens when they come out of turn 14, because that will dictate where these cars will end up. The gap was 8/10 of a second. It's probably around the same level, but the battle of 2nd to 3rd is the one that's under half a second. So you can catch, but what more can you do? These cars are not hypersensitive aerodynamic machines. They are relatively easy to drive in traffic, so no concerns. Oh, I've got a wall shot because I was too close to the car ahead of me.
Now the battle is on for 2nd and 3rd again. Look, because as Israel closes on Germany and then gets stuck, so Italy closes right up, then attacks. That enables Germany to pull away because Israel's Ido Cohen has to go defensive. And here comes now Italy. Andrea Rosso tries to make the move on the outside line as they head up towards Campagnano. And Kreuthen is under attack from Israel, so Germany's in danger of losing the leaders there. Israel tries the outside line. Absolutely wheel to wheel. Fantastic race between these two, and Germany comes out of the corner ahead. Up now towards turn 8, Germany. Nicholas Kreuthen having to make this car so wide. Italy up the inside line for 2nd place. It's going to be close. He's got the inside line for 8, the inside for 9. Italy goes 2nd.
Yeah, good move. Watching the battle ahead. 2 cars compromising one another gave the Italian entry that opportunity to get up the inside. Now he's under threat from Cohen once again. So Israel down to 3rd place and under threat from 4th. 13th, no, 3rd, the Hungarian car up top.
So can Italy take a win? 5.5 on the clock. Israel coming back then at Italy as the cars work their way through 12 and 13 once more. But right now it is a very good advantage that Kreuthen has been given because of the squabble behind as they come now up through turn 14. They're heading towards the timing line once again. So half a second it was at the end of lap 7. At the end of lap 8, we'll see whether Kreuthen is being able to get away as they come through. 8/10 of a second is the advantage that he's got now. Rosso is 2nd for Italy, 3rd is Cohen. So Israel down in 3rd place despite the pace that was shown throughout qualifying. And right now Nicholas Kreuthen then, of course he gained on the grid after the penalties for others. Now he's been able to get himself into the lead of the race with the battles going on around him. Italy doing the chasing in 2nd place, Israel 3rd, and look, they concertina again on this fast back straight down towards Campagnano, turn 7, down come the gaps, Italy to the inside line.
It's that part of the racetrack, or this part of the racetrack, that I see that Kreuthen doesn't seem to be quite as quick as those two that are challenging him. So he has now maintained the advantage into turn 8, all the way up the hill, running a wide field further down the field. So into turn 8, the situation has all changed. Kreuthen, Rosso, Cohen into the final sector of the circuit, dive down the inside, and that's a car suddenly losing pace.
Yeah. That was Brazil back after the drive-through. There are the leaders down towards turn 10. And what have we got in a line? 5 of them. Nicholas Kreuthen for Germany could be the first race winner of the weekend. But closing right up is Italy. Too late on the brakes, maybe. Does the car wash out wide? No. Rosso regroups, stays on the tail of Kreuthen. What Kreuthen has been able to do well in this race is defend. What he's not been able to do is get away.
No, the parts of the circuit where I think clearly he is at a disadvantage. That's particularly coming up from turn 6 up to the turn 7, where everybody behind, whether they're getting an aerodynamic tow or whether he's got slightly poor performance off the previous corner, but now under threat, can't get any closer to the back of the lead car than this, coming down through the very quick right-hand turn at turn 3. And Rosso is going to make a move unless we get a very defensive Germany trying to block, and look at Cohen even thinking about, got to be very careful. You can pick up a big advantage from these two squabbling for the lead, but don't get involved in their battle too closely. You might also get caught in it.
And equally, this only sorts out the grid for tomorrow. So be a hero and go off. You're at the back of the grid. Just bank a finish. Get a solid finish that will put you near the front of the grid for tomorrow. Italy to the outside line. No banking going on here because Italy is on the attack all the way around the outside. Goes Andrea Rosso. He gets run out wide up the curb. Delayed on exit. Here comes Israel side by side. On the inside line is Italy. Also joining the party is Hungary in 4th place. Italy stays 2nd. But look, even with that squabbling, Kreuthen isn't getting away.
No, he's not. And Kreuthen, I mean, he's doing a great job, but he was seriously under attack. But the problem for Rosso going around the outside of any corner is you're always going to be hung out if you're not careful. And in fact, he almost lost that 2nd place to Cohen, managed to consolidate, forced Cohen wide as he came through turn 9.
A dive to the inside line there from Denmark. That could get messy. Ooh, almost into the side of Hungary. And behind the pair of them is Finland. There's others out wide. That's Belgium running wide over the curb. Does Finland gain a place as they wriggle out of turn 13? You've also got the back-marking Q80 car in the way. It's all happening. We have got 2 minutes and change on the clock. It's going to be 2 more laps, isn't it, as they come through. Al-Nusif for Q8 trying to get out of the way of the quicker cars. But here come the race leaders. And look, the traffic has really gone against Israel. So it's Germany versus Italy with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, and it's Italy going to be again looking to find a way past Germany, down the hill, through the right-hander, through the curve of the left, again down into turn 4. What side to go? Germany goes right, Italy goes left. Will there be a switchback? No, not close enough to make it stick. But again, it's up the hill from the exit of turn 5, up through the curve of 6, into the hairpin at 7. Contact down at turn 4.
Somebody runs wide as Italy is now on the attack. To the outside line again goes Andrea Rosso. Remember, he out-qualified Kreuthen, so he should have the pace, and he does go ahead on the outside line, though, wheel to wheel. 1 more lap to run at the end of this. Rosso for Italy again tries to go around the outside, again gets run up the curb, but he stands his ground on the inside line. Italy for the race lead. Look at this, they're almost touching. Last of the late breakers, they are still together. Italy goes through. Great move.
Yeah, stayed close on the exit of turn 8, managed to maintain his ground going up into turn 9, and the German finally had to concede pressure. Now Israel's looking to find a way past Germany, but they defend by taking the tighter inside line. The battle, I mean, it's been a wonderful battle between the lead 2 cars, with Israel just about there, down the inside into, wow, can he get it done? Can he force through?
Yes.
Germany's gone from 1st to 3rd in the space of what is a little over half a lap.
So it is Italy in the lead of the race now. Israel started on pole and is back up into 2nd, and Germany's Nicholas Kreuthen down in 3rd position, having of course led for the bulk of this race. You've got to feel a bit for Nicholas Kreuthen. However, it's tomorrow's race that will determine the medals. Here they come onto the last lap, and Andrea Rosso for Italy has driven really well in this. He comes through now to lead onto the last lap by 0.6 of a second. But can Israel's Ido Cohen do anything about him?
I think that the Kreuthen car may have lost the left side front wing end plate. There was something flew up about a lap ago. Now he's under threat. Likewise from Toth coming down the inside for Hungary, but can't quite get alongside. So Germany did a great job in the opening laps. On the final lap, gone from 1st to 3rd, and no response possible.
This is going to be a very popular win for the home crowd if Andrea Rosso can hang on to it for another half a lap as he turns his way now through Campagnano out of turn 7. It was there that he was being forced out wide earlier. while Ido Cohen is behind him in second place. He was quicker in the first sector. He is trying to bring down the gap, and look at Germany all of a sudden having to go defensive, because there, right on his tail now, Kreutern has Laszlo Toth. Toth started 10th on the grid. He might yet get onto the podium here. The leaders come up towards turn 10. What a race to kick off the weekend on.
That's been stunning. I mean, but in cars that these drivers are not familiar with, or a spec car, you can make little or no changes to them whatsoever. It's all about the driver and the performance you can drag out of the equipment you're being given. And right now, Rossi has done a stunning job. Andrea Rossi leads this race on the final lap, comes through the penultimate curve and into the last corner. Andrea
Rosso then for Italy. Here at Vallelunga, we are 20 miles north of Rome, and it's going to be a home win to kick off the weekend. The FIA Motorsport Games Formula 4 Cup qualifying race goes to Italy. Andrea Rosso beats Israel's Ido Cohen. Germany third, Nicholas Kreutern. Fourth goes the way of Hungary's Laszlo Toth. Fifth, Finland on the last lap, William Alatalo ahead of Denmark's Malte Jakobsen. Belgium seventh, Nicholas Bart ahead of Australia's Lewis Leeds. Eighth, ninth to Russia's Pavel Bulintsev, and France's Rachid Desjardins rounds out the top 10. People tell you that you can't overtake at Vallelunga. People tell you that slicks and wings single-seaters don't overtake, don't deliver good racing. That was absolutely outstanding, and not only do all the drivers deserve credit from that leading gaggle, but again, chapeau to KCMG for building a grid of cars, no mechanical dramas, that can race that competitively.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a stunning effort all around. I mean, I disagree with what you can't overtake, you can, but it is difficult as an any racetrack. But one of the benefits of these Formula 4 cars is that by the aerodynamic of the wings, front and rear, give a certain amount of downforce. They're not hypercritical aerodynamic devices, and that is what allows them to run sufficiently close into, say, for example, turn 4 and 5, get the run up the hill through 6, and then make the move into 7, or out of 7 and down the hill into 8.
Italy victorious in our first race of the weekend, the F4 Cup qualifying race won by Andrea Rosso for Italy. Israel, courtesy of Ido Cohen, second, and Germany, Nicholas Kreutern, third. Fourth, Laszlo Toth for Hungary. Fifth, William Alatalo for Finland. And sixth, Denmark's Malte Jakobsen. Belgium seventh, Nicholas Bart. Eighth, Lewis Leeds for Australia. And ninth, Pavel Bulintsev for Russia, with 10th going to France, Rachid Desjardins. 11th was Ireland, ahead of Spain. 13th, Portugal. 14th was the Czech Republic. And 15th, Malaysia. 16th, New Zealand. 17th was Brazil after a pit stop, and João Rosata is under investigation for not serving his drive-through, even though he pitted. So either that was a pit stop with a problem, or somebody missed the drive-through. The retirements, Q8 and Japan. Well, I reckon that's a pretty decent start to the weekend, don't you?
I think
Great racing.
Pretty breathless, I have to say. I mean, once the race got underway, at the battle between the front two rows of the grid, that was proper mood racing from junior drivers in a junior Formula single-seater. And as you pointed out, I mean, a superb job done by KC Motorsport to build these cars, get them all here, have them all run reliably. I mean, a great effort, fantastic.
Indeed so. Right, we'll hopefully have a chance to hear from our winning drivers. An incident involving Al Nusif is under investigation, and so the top three, Italy, Israel and Germany. We're not yet talking medals, however. That comes tomorrow as far as F4 is concerned. Highlights of the race, and there were many. You see that pop start by Russia, so Pavel Bulintsev slow off the line, and it gave Nicholas Kreutern for Germany the race lead under attack from Italy and from Israel, and it was these three nations that dominated the race, trading the top three places. We lost Japan on the first lap of the race, that's why we had the safety car. What about Al Nusif? No, he just lost it, didn't he? All on his own, around he went. So the Q80 driver sliding off the circuit, and he had another incident late race as well. Nicholas Kreutern for Germany, under attack, being able to defend but never being able to get away, as Italy and Israel argued over second place. Ido Cohen for Israel and Andrea Rosso for Italy as one. Their damage for Al Nusif for Q8. He had to pit to sort out the wing, so a whole new front section going on the car. But in the end, he was retirement to the pit lane. Try as he might, Ido Cohen for Israel was never quite able to make that move around the outside and make it stick. It meant that Kreutern for Germany hung on to the advantage. Then Italy got into second place, and Andrea Rosso made his move round the outside. He had a go in the past at turn 7, and there, being forced out wide. others in strife, including Undisif once more for Q8. But when Italy finally made the move, it involved the curb, yes, but this time Rosso was going to stand his ground. Wheel to wheel, they ran up towards turn 8. Through he went on the inside line, and Andrea Rosso was able to stay ahead to beat Israel and Germany. Our first race at the FIA Motorsport Games goes the way of Andrea Rosso. It's a win for Italy.
Grandissimo complimenti. Well done. That was a fantastic race from you. Winning in your home country, fantastic.
Yeah, it was a really hard race. First of all, at the start, I dropped 2 places because I made a mistake. But then, head down, I catch the first 2. Yeah, I finished first. I'm super happy now. I need to realize that. Yeah, I want to thank the team and my parents. Thank you very much.
Go for gold tomorrow. Good luck.
Well, he will do so from pole position, of course, because today's results sort out the grid for tomorrow. So, run in the Italian Championship by Antonelli Motorsport, team that we're familiar with from Lamborghini Super Trofeo as well. Andrea Rosso takes race honours from Ido Cohen and Nicholas Croyton in 3rd place, as they're the nations get ready for the next activity on track, which is going to be the first touring car race of the weekend, the first point scoring race. And Andrea Rosso then a great race winner, perfect way to start the weekend on track activity here in the FIA Motorsport Games. The Formula 4 Cup qualifying race won by Italy. Touring cars will be on track in a few minutes. See you shortly.
You join me back at the Karting Slalom, and I'm joined by Marin Kremis, who is the newly crowned karting world champion. So he showed me around the track. I've been speaking to all these people. I thought I may as well give it a go. So tell us about what you're doing here and what you're showing everybody.
I'm just helping out the FIA and Bureau Up, my team. Helping out, preparing everything, making sure everything's ready for the drivers to have a good time and hopefully win a medal for their country.
And you were saying to me you're not really used to slalom either.
No, I've never done anything like this before. I've actually never seen it. I'm used to driving on a small go-kart track, just basically Formula 1 in small. And this is very different, but it seems like good fun.
Do you know, I was surprised at the power of these things.
Yeah, they've got a lot of power. We actually tuned them down a little bit because it's such a small track here and you don't want to hit the cones. So just to make it a bit easier for everybody, we tune them down a little bit. But they've got a lot of power, yeah.
Yeah, let's not talk about hitting the cones because I had a few near misses. And the person in front of me, after you left, just shot off. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, the small kids usually are very good at it. They have no fear and they just have a lot of fun, so that's the important thing.
They were having fun. I was concentrating, thinking, I need to catch that person.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy. Definitely not when you see a small person like that just shoot off and you're just getting frustrated.
Yeah, these cones and this course is really quite tight, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's just a little bit wider than the go-kart, so you have to be focused. You make sure you don't hit any cones because if you hit one cone, it's a 2-second penalty. And yeah, that's the most important thing. You're better off going a little bit slower, but making sure you don't hit anything than going all out and hitting every cone there is on track.
Maybe I should have spoken to you before I got in the kart.
Yeah, it would have been helpful to get some tips, I reckon.
So we're seeing lots of young talent here. Tell us about your karting journey and how you've got to World Champion stage.
Started off in my local area in the Netherlands, then went to do the national championship, and when I was old enough to go international, I went international, so when I was 13 years old. Did the CIK, FIA events, all of them, driving against the best people there are out there on track. I drove against Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, just to name a few, and they all went a little bit further than I did so far, but yeah, I stuck to karting, did my time, and won the World Championship last September, so good feeling.
Yeah, so we're just seeing the pictures of me attempting it. Any tips you can give me? Put my foot down?
Put your foot down, don't have any fear, and if you hit a cone, it's okay because you're not getting a penalty.
Maybe I should have thought about my footwear as well.
Yeah, makes it a little bit difficult to drive with high heels, I think.
Going back to your career, so now you've won world title status, and you've mentioned all those big names. What's next for you?
We're not completely sure yet. I'm working out with my management to get a good deal for next year. If it's in karting or in cars, I'm not sure yet, but we'll see.
Is it good for you to see so many people here competing at this slalom?
Yeah, definitely. Karting is, I think, the most popular event there is in the FIA games, so that's definitely good to see the interest in karting and the karting slalom. So.
Okay, well, thanks very much for talking to us, and well done on the World Championship, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much.
I'm with John Ryan, Technical Sporting Director of Motorsport UK, and you're with Team GB, obviously. It's a great event, this, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's, obviously it's first time we actually had a full event with all the multi-disciplines and that. We're really excited to be here. We didn't know what to expect when we arrived, but it's absolutely fantastic. The show that's been put on is absolutely amazing, and we're looking forward to continuing this in years to come. The opening ceremony was just absolutely amazing. The atmosphere was just superb. And the actual friendliness of everybody, although they're competitive, there is a lot of people coming together in that. It's absolutely amazing.
So we're at the Karting Slalom, which is one of your categories that you're competing in, but tell me what GB are doing as a whole here.
We're also competing in touring cars. We've got Rory Butcher in touring cars. He competed in British touring cars as well, was very high up. I think he finished 4th in the end of the season. We've also have our GT team, we've got Chris Froggatt and we've got Flick Hogarth, who's competing in the Ferrari during this weekend. And last of all, we've got our James Baldwin, who's actually doing Digital Cup. It's the first time we've ever actually had someone entered in such a competition, but it's fantastic. Really proud of the team. We've all been socialising together as well in the evenings and that, and what a lovely bunch. As an experience itself, we're actually so proud of our team.
So you've got a whole range of ages really within your team. How important is it for the youngsters here in the karting to be against all these different nations, experiencing, as you were saying, they're not really used to slalom, they're used to racing karts more so?
Well, I think it's amazing. We've got two 14-year-olds in our team. There's Sam and Jessica, and they're both amazing little characters. And they've got people to look up to. And we've actually said to them, maybe in time, we actually need to take your autographs now, because you'll be the people that will be the stars of the future. And it's great to see, we've got people who they see often on TV, people like Rory Butcher and all that, and actually working with him to do the opening ceremony, it's a real time for them.
Okay, well, I'm not going to show any bias on who I'm supporting here this weekend. We're just going to go and drown our sorrows about the rugby, aren't we?
We are, yes. No, we're very sad to see that. But we've got Lewis tomorrow, haven't we? So let's keep our fingers crossed. But yeah, no, I think England, unfortunately, put their best performance against New Zealand by the sounds of it. But wasn't able to watch it, but had some updates. But.
And that's the rugby over. We're not going to talk about it anymore.
No more rugby. No, it's all about motorsport now for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're clutching at straws. We're finding some human beings that might be lurking.
I'm with Team Georgia at the moment, and they're doing quite well in the karting slalom. Firstly, I'll speak to the coach. So tell me about how you're doing in this event.
Yeah, so far we are good in this event. Hopefully we will complete this event, like we started and like we're doing it right now. I think everything is fine so far for us.
Who have you got competing and representing your nation?
Sorry again?
Who have you got competing and representing your nation?
There are two of our young generation of the racers. So mostly they are driving karting So she's only first year she started karting, but you know, so far she's doing so good, and he's got more experience in the karting, and he's also driving the race car, not only karting. So I think we're good.
How important is it for them to be competing against other people of their age from all different nations?
Sorry, I cannot hear. You know, here is the...
I know, it's quite noisy around here. How important is it for them to be competing against other people their age from all different nations?
Yeah, sure. It's for us, it's really... sorry, I'm just losing my mind.
That's okay, let's speak to the team manager. So this is the team manager for the whole of the Team Georgia. It's a great event, isn't it?
It's a very great event, and it's very good that we started this event. And the new generation is very important to us because in karting we try our best. We also participate in drifting and digital.
So you're looking after the team as a whole, so which categories are you competing in here this weekend?
Yes, in drifting, digital and karting, and karting is very important because of new generation. They must be very strong to have good motorsport in our country. We are a very small country, and so we try our best to show.
Okay, if you want to just speak to people at home in Georgia, tell them what you think about being here and competing.
რას ფიქრობთ აქ რო ხართ? ანუ რას ფიქრობთ რომ აქ რო ხართ, ხო? ანუ ძალიან მოწონს ეს ევენთი, ძალიან ბევრი мотивация მოგცა, იმიტომ რომ პირველზე ვართ, საკვალიფიკაციო გარეშეზე და ვეცდებით ფინალშიც გავიდეთ და მოვიგოთ კიდევაც.
He's saying that he is trying his best to go to the finals and win there, and it's very big motivation for him to come here and show good results.
And are you enjoying the competition?
კი რა თქმა უნდა მომწონს ძალიან დიდი გამოცდილება მივიღე და იმედია შემდეგშიც გავაგრძელებ ეს.
She likes it very much. It's very big experience for her to be on such a big event, so it's very good.
Okay, well, good luck, and hopefully you will get through to the next stage and we can speak to you later on. Good luck, Georgia.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
He's doing a move. The panic is just...
He's giving you I'm doing a pan, you know?
Oh my God.
Is it I know.
Also down here at the Karting Slalom is the Girls on Track Activity Centre, and I'm joined by Barbara Silva, Social Responsibility Programme Manager for the FIA, who runs this event and this programme. So can you tell us about it?
Sure. So FIA Girls on Track is about showing young women the different facets and inspire them into having careers in motorsport. So what we do is that we work with local schools and we try to get as many participants as we can between 8 and 18 years old, and they basically spend a day with us discovering the different careers and also trying out the karting slalom.
Now, there's all these different activity stations here. We're going to walk through them. We'll start here with the simulator challenge. So tell me what this is.
So the simulator is really for them to get used to the pedals, and so we make sure they go through this first activity before putting them on real karts. Yes.
Okay. And then moving along, we've got the media challenge next. There's nobody in here at the moment, but that's because everyone's at lunch. So what's this?
Usually the media challenge, we work with local journalists, and they basically teach the young girls what it is to be a journalist in the motorsport kind of environment. And here we put a photo booth for the public days as well, so the girls can have a bit more fun.
Okay. Action for road safety is the next one we're looking at. What happens here? This looks interesting.
Yeah, so road safety is a key campaign of FIA and is really heart to heart of a lot of activities we do. Here the girls put some goggles that simulate the effects of alcohol, drugs or concussion, and they have to walk through the path, and it's really not that easy. They have to catch a ball, so it's really to raise awareness on these issues.
I saw some girls trying this out earlier. I saw the goggles on. I didn't understand why they couldn't throw a ball or catch it.
You can try them out later on if you want. They're here.
I probably don't need the goggles.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay, right. Okay, we'll try those in a moment. Technical challenge we're moving on to. Now, what's in these boxes?
So these boxes are full of Legos, actually. So what we do is that we ask the young girls to build a car and to make it move through the power of a balloon. So this activity is really to introduce them to the laws of physics and engineering in the end. So it's really appreciated as well.
Okay, we got one more?
No, I think we're done for today.
Okay, yeah, so that's just the welcome area. So are we going to have a go with these goggles? Have you got 2 pairs or just one? Wouldn't normally need them on a Saturday evening. Right. Should we swap?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's bizarre.
Yes, it is. So now you're supposed to walk through and follow the road.
Right, okay. Can I... Where's the mic? I can't even grab the mic. Okay, so... okay. Oh my God, I'm miles off. Oh, this is awful. Am I anywhere near? I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that at all. Goodness. Have you tried it?
Oh, yeah, several times. But yeah, I must say you have the strongest one, so it's really difficult.
Oh, right. Okay, so you didn't help me much. Thanks very much.
Okay, and then the last activity is the Karting Slalom, which you know already, and yeah, that's it.
I mean, I've been really impressed seeing all these, not just the girls, but the young guys as well, karting, and how well they're doing on this track.
Yeah, so what's fantastic about this karting slalom is it's parallel slalom. So for each team we have one boy and one girl, and as Michel said previously, I guess that made us reach 16.9% of female participation at the Motorsport Games. So it's great.
All right, thank you very much, Barbara. Thank you.
Thanks.
You join us at the Karting Slalom, and they're well underway. There's 29 different nations competing here, and at the moment they're qualifying. I'm joined by Ute Kleinschmidt. Now, can you tell us exactly what the process is that's going on here at the karting?
So the nice thing is we have here girls and boys. So that means 29 nations are racing against each other. The pre-finals are like this. So everybody has actually 2 runs. So in total 4 runs are counting. And the 16 fastest will be the one who can go on to the finals.
That's almost half the field. That's quite a lot to go through to the next stage.
Yes, absolutely. But I think this is quite fair because you can see also weather condition can change. And so everybody has a bit the same chance, and they have to be fast, they have to be precise, because this is really difficult. You can see it's only a very tiny road through all the coins, and you can see that a lot of teams throw them, so that costs each time also some seconds.
Yeah, we've just been watching some of them run now, and this course looks quite difficult. I called that a figure of 8, but you, of course, called it a pretzel over in the corner there, so it's quite tough for them.
It is really, really tough, and this is a combination of remembering the track, of drive precise and fast. So this is really a lot of skills which you also need for all kind of motorsports.
And how are you finding the mixed teams? How are they going, the boys and girls combined?
It is actually by the national clubs, as ASNs we call them. They select the team and they apply with their best country drivers.
We've got a range of ages here. I've seen lots of different people here. So what age range is there?
It's actually 14 to 16, so this is a very good age to be prepared for doing a career in motorsport later.
Now, you are the only woman who has completed and won the Dakar. So how is it for you to see young girls here competing?
Yeah, for me this is really very important because we're doing a lot of effort at the FIA to bring young girls to motorsport, and here we can see 29 talents racing against the men, and that is what I did all my career, and I think we can show that this is possible, and that's what we want to achieve.
You mentioned this is about precision. I can see quite a few cones that have been knocked over. So what happens if they do that?
That costs them about 2 seconds per coin they throw away, but this is part of the game, you know. So, and this is quite expensive because they are using around 25 to 27 seconds for one round, and so then 2 seconds is already quite a lot.
Will you keep this course as it is, or do you change it for the different stages?
We will keep it like it is for this event, but this kind of sport, which we call kart slalom, can change different figures, and so we chose this because it fits very well here, and like you can see, it's the same setup on both sides. So after we will have finals where they knock each other out.
And I'm assuming they compete on both sides of this track?
Definitely, because it has to be fair. So one time they're on one side and the other time on the other side.
We had rain yesterday. I can feel some coming down now. How's that going to affect them?
Yeah, as we have more runs and we mix them from the time, that means in the end of the day it will be quite equal. But it's like in normal race conditions, you know. If you race, you can have a bit better luck or good luck. So that means this can happen here too.
We're fairly through this first stage now. So are there any teams that are standing out to you at the moment? Can you say that?
Difficult to say because it's really close, the competition, and we have still about 20 countries to go the last pre-run, qualifying run, and after this we will see. So it's quite close. I'm very happy about that. So that means it will be very interesting.
And we've mentioned about them being 14. How important, it's not just for the girls, for the guys as well, to get drivers, young drivers in this age and getting out on track and learning all these skills?
I think this is very important because you can see today if you don't start motorsport very early, it's very difficult to come in. So this is the right age to see talents. It's the right age to find people who are or young people who are interested in motorsport, and I think this is very important.
And we know we've got mixed teams. This is one of the only sports where men and women can compete on a level playing field. So what are you noticing between the guys and the girls?
I can see it's quite equal, and that makes me happy because it shows if you give a chance to women to race and if you make them interested in it, they can be very good. And that's what it's all about. I think we have to find more girls who are interested in motorsport, but also we have a lot of guys here, which is very important. And for everybody, it is very difficult to achieve something in motorsport because motorsport in the beginning is quite expensive. But this kind of kart slalom is achievable and it is cheap, and that's why it's so interesting.
You and I were both recently at the Girls on Track event, and I will speak about that later. But just briefly, what was that event about, and what did you discover from that?
I think this is more to make young girls interested in motorsport because there's a lot of other jobs in motorsport who are very interesting. To be a journalist, for example, but a mechanic, a team manager. We can see already now, especially in Formula E, for example, we have female team leaders and also in Formula One. So I think this is very important to attract generally women for motorsport. And that's what we are doing with Girls on Track. Because we have different stations and we show at the station what is about your job if you join this kind of work in motorsport.
Okay, well, we look forward to seeing what happens in the rest of the karting slalom. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll speak to you later.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure for me.